Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to go over all the updates we got on The Last of Us Part 1, the PC features, who's working on it. Some of this information has been available to us for a little bit, like this PC specifications, have been available for a little bit. Haven't gotten over it. Obviously, I got to give you guys my inputs on it. So we'll talk about the system requirements first, and then we'll also talk about the news that is, a little bit concerning to some people. So let's get right into it. Let's start off with the positives. We got system requirements, and Sony continues to do a great job with these system requirements, giving us 4 tiers of system requirements, so we'll talk all about that. Obviously, timing-wise, it is a beautiful time to drop Last of Us on PC, given the success of the HBO series. I think everything has come together really nicely. If it came out in the beginning of March, I think that would have been a little bit more advantageous, given that you're not coming, head up with the Resident Evil 4 remake. I think some people are going to side with that for their zombie slaying experience, or zombie survival experience, rather. But, nonetheless, the blog post from the PlayStation blog by Jonathan Dornbush, editorial content manager of Naughty Dog, notes, whether you're coming to the launch of The Last of Us Part 1 on PC as a first-timer, maybe you've enjoying The Last of Us on HBO and want to jump into the game, or if you're a returning player who wants to experience this memorable adventure all over again, we hope the PC version will be an exciting way for everyone to play. We previously confirmed Part 1's PC iteration will bring with it the same main content as its PS5 counterpart, but with the PC release drawing closer, we snuck by some frightening clickers to deliver more information about what players can expect. Whatever your previous experience with The Last of Us Part 1, its PC release brings with it plenty of PC features to bring Joel and Ellie's tense and unforgettable journey to life. This version of The Last of Us Part 1 is optimized for PC with PC-centric quality of life enhancements. Part 1 will feature AMD FSR 2.2 support, NVIDIA DLSS Super Resolution support, VSync and frame rate cap options, and a host of features designed specifically for PC. This including texture quality, shadows, reflections, ambient occlusion, and much more. Typical stuff there. Through the experiences of Joel and Ellie, PC players can fully immerse themselves in beautiful yet haunting environments, stunning detail with true 4K resolutions, from the harsh, oppressive streets of the Boston quarantine zone to the overgrown and abandoned homes of Billstown, to so much more on a beautiful journey across the United States of America, with ultra-wide monitor support for both 21:9 ultra-wide and 32:9 super ultra-wide aspect ratios. Experience all these locations stealthily sneaking through abandoned homes and cities and picking their drawers and cabinets clean, looking for supplies, or engage in intense, captivating action with 3D audio support to better hear the rustle of leaves, the crack of glass, or the footfalls of enemies trying to ambush you. The Last of Us Part 1 on PC features DualSense controller support through a wired connection so players can feel the impact of battle, the rumble of a tank rolling by, and so much more through haptic feedback and dynamic triggers. With support for the DualShock 4 controller, a wide range of other gamepads and keyboard and mouse, players can adjust their playstyle to suit their preferences. The PC release includes a number of new control customization options, including full control remapping, primary and secondary bindings for keyboard and mouse control, and adaptive mode that allows players to combine keyboard and controller inputs, and more. Obviously, we do have system requirements. That is the main thing I want to go over, but wanted to highlight all of that as well. We have minimum, recommended performance, and then ultra. Minimum 30 FPS at 720p, low preset settings. This is going to be Ryzen 5 1500X, still an i7 4770K, so bear that in mind. That is a... what is that, Ivy Bridge, I want to say? Man, my remembrance of the older generations of Intel is so foggy these days. RX 470 or an RX 6500 XT, a GTX 970 or a 1050 Ti, 16 gigabytes of RAM, still something to note there. So yeah, there you go with that. Recommended 60 FPS at 1080p, high preset, Ryzen 5 3600X or an i7 8700, an RTX 2070 or an RTX 3060, RX 5700 XT or an RX 6600 XT, 16 gigabytes of RAM here as well. Then you have performances, 60 FPS at 1440p at high preset, Ryzen 5 5600X or an i7 9700K, an RX 6700 XT or an RTX 2080 Ti, 32 gigabytes of RAM here for performance settings, so that is something definitely to note here. Now when you're going to this higher end preset, you'll definitely be looking at 32 gigabytes. And then of course, Ultra preset, 60 FPS, 4K, Ultra preset setting, Ryzen 9 5900X, i5 12600, an RX 7900 XTX, or an RTX 4080, 32 gigabytes of RAM as well. Yikes on that one. That's gonna be quite the undertaking. I feel like that's a little bit high, but like, you know, who's really trying to play these games at 60 at 4K? Very, very few people, but I'm definitely sure there's people like that out there. 32 gigabytes of RAM on the Ultra preset as well. And last but not least, 100 gigabyte SSD is recommended for that. You can pick up the Firefly edition of the game. That is like the physical edition, but it'll come with a code for a Steam copy of the game. Comes with the comic and whatnot, steelbook, all that good stuff. Left Behind DLC chapter, additional modes like speedrun mode, permadeath mode, and photo mode. And then Part 1's launch will also include Last of Us Part 1's suite of accessibility features so you can experience it exactly how you want to. On top of that, Iron Galaxy is going to be responsible for The Last of Us Part 1 remake as outlined in the blog post. This is a little bit of a cause of concern for some people. They did work on Batman Arkham Knight, which was a train wreck. However, they also did work on Uncharted Legacy of Thieves. Legacy of Thieves, in my experience, was really, really great, so take that for what you will. But I do know that some people had issues with Legacy of Thieves as well, so you know, your mileage may vary on that one. But bear in mind that the game is coming out on March the 28th, right after the Resident Evil 4 remake. So timing-wise is a little bit of a bummer. Like, I could see that being a reason for people to be like, do I really need to pick this up right now? It is at a pricey $60. However, that's where our good friends Green Man Gaming do come in. I'll leave the link in the description box down below. 17% off. You can get the game as an XP member. $49.79. It's a little bit more palatable of a price point. Given that this game did initially come out in 2013, I know Part 1 came out in September of last year, and it was a $70 release on PS5. Nevertheless, the game is fantastic. It's one of the best games of all time by many people's opinion. I loved the game when it initially came out on the PS3, and remember, it was like the swan song for the PS3, and really showcased the true limits of that hardware. It got another release on PS4 as the remastered version, then ultimately Part 1 came out on PS5 back in September, and now, what is it, almost a decade later, the game finally arrives on PC. Sometimes it's wild to see that, you know, because I was PC gaming back when Last of Us 1 came out. It's kind of wild to see a game that you would never in a million years expect to come to PC. Ultimately, decade later, a native release of it happening on PC. Wilder things have happened. That's why I just had like a conversation with a buddy of mine the other day, and we were like, you know, it would be really nice if like Nintendo would release their games natively on PC, but that's just like such a pipe dream. And I'm like, you know what? It may seem like a pipe dream right now, but you have no idea what's going to happen in the next decade. Who knows? Maybe it could happen. I personally think there is a wad of cash for Nintendo to do that. Maybe it doesn't make sense to a lot of you guys, but it's just like you never know what's going to happen. I never expected Last of Us to be on PC. I mean, after Horizon came to PC, obviously all bets were off the table, but you get the idea. A decade ago, if you told me Last of Us was going to be on PC, I'd say you're crazy. A decade ago, if you would say that Halo MCC would be out, I mean, Halo MCC wasn't even out yet, so I would be like, yeah, that game doesn't even exist. But nonetheless, Halo being on Steam, I would say, you know, in an ideal world, sure, that would be great, but I just don't think that's going to happen. All these things seem to be happening, so again, when it comes to stuff like this, I think all bets are off the table, and anything is really possible at this stage of the game. But that is my 2 cents as I close out of this video. Want to give you guys an update on all of that. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.